Oh, okay, go ahead.
This is interview one. The date is August 22nd, 2015, Saturday. And our participants, Mohammed Shaban and Vern Idle.
Can you repeat your name
That's the
again?
introduction right there.
Okay.
And then I'll start asking the questions.
Okay.
So go ahead and mark it. Interview one, August 22nd, 2015. Participants, Mohammed Shaban and Vern Idle.
Oh,
Do you want me to say it or you want?
no, you already said it. It's already been there.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Now we're at. Okay, first question. Is there any event or period of time that was revealing to you as just who you are, or maybe how you fit in the scheme of all creation?
Yes. And do you want it the period of time?
Yeah, whatever, you may answer it either way. Well, someone or a period of time.
A period of time.
Period of time. Go ahead.
And the period of time was from uh, 2000, beginning of 2000, until I think it lasted so long until now. But in the last, I would say, in the last 2.5 years, I already put the dots on, on the letters, and I find out exactly, I figure who I am and
Okay, so
what I
from
want.
2000 to about 2013.
2013, thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's all we need.
All right.
Okay, question number two. Do you feel you're primarily a thinking man or a man of action?
Somewhat both.
Somewhat. Okay, that's all we need. You want to ask us that?
You wanna comments on
Come
that?
come back to it. Maybe after you've thought about it.
No, somewhat. This is final answer.
Okay.
Somewhat both.
What your final answer?
Yes. Is it $1 million?
Okay. Next question. When did you first start thinking about yourself and reflecting upon your life? When did you start thinking about yourself and reflecting upon your life?
That started pretty early, when I was 24, and the first time I left home, which I traveled from Egypt to the Middle East, and I was in Iraq, namely Iraq. I went to many countries before I went to Iraq, but then as soon as I arrived to Iraq, I started reflecting. Uh, I, I become a responsible man for my action, and I discover who I really am and what I want from now on.
That question, we're going to expand more. I'm going to ask you more questions about
Okay.
that. That'll be definitely an area that will be interesting.
Okay.
Okay. What great architectural monument has impressed you the most during your travels?
The masjid in Istanbul, the name of it,
The
Sultan.
Hagia Sophia.
Huh?
The Hagia Sophia?
Yes, yes,
The
Holy Mosque. Yes.
Yeah.
I think they call it Masjid of Sultan Ahmed or some Sultan
Well,
Ahmed.
there's two. Maybe the Hagia Sophia as well.
Yes, it's in Istanbul, and it's a beautiful
The
monument.
great,
Yeah.
the great mosque.
Yes.
Next question. Who is the most important person in your life?
Are you talking about metaphorically or a family member?
It doesn't. Who is the most important person in your life? That's it.
Prophet
Make it-
Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Next question. Do you believe your life is determined and that your destiny in life has been planned by a higher authority?
This is a very difficult to answer, but I'm gonna try to do my best. It is destiny according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plan for us. We all been, you know, our destiny has been decided and there is no change for it. However, it is up to us because we don't know. We don't know the unknown. This is not our ability to know where I can sit there and say, oh, well, I'm destined to be doomed and just to be in a rut.
You don't know
Because
the plan.
I know if I do right and go according to a guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow the guidelines, I will be okay. If I choose the other way, I know that my destiny is going to be,
Something else.
something else.
But you don't know what.
Huh?
But you don't know what.
Again, this is that's why I said in the beginning it's a very difficult question to answer because our destiny is already been determined. رفعت الأقلام, the pens are lifted and the paper is dry. However, we don't know that. That's why we have to work for
That's
our
why
destiny.
We have free
Yes.
will.
Yes, we have a free will. That's right.
Okay. What was the most important event when you were a boy? What was the most important event to you when you were a boy?
There was too many of them, but the most important events when I went to prep school, the first year of the prep school, which is middle school, and I study English as a second language, and you will have 6 hours a week of English lessons, and I really enjoyed that because it enabled me to be able to communicate in English, and that was one of the most admired things that I wanted to do because of my mind thinking about how the British Empire destroyed our Khalifa, our deen, and how I could be effective on fighting and trying to make a difference in that regards by using the English language to deploy that for my activism and my jihad to أعلاء كلمة الله.
And also permitted you to sit here and talk with me too.
And that's indeed.
Everybody else.
I think of myself as to be a successful politician. I think I can communicate with people, and I have that, alhamdulillah, I have that charisma that people will, and that's what benefit me on that professional that I choose, which is sales. It was a blessing that I was able to have people sit and listen to what I have to say.
Okay,
Thank you.
Now, these are some boy questions.
Yes.
When you were a boy, was there an object, for example, a toy, that you were especially attached to or found solace in?
You,
Like a toy or anything. It could be
kites. We used to make
kite.
our own kites, and I used to. Uh, I'm very good at making kites, and I used to fly the kites and have kite fights and so on and so forth. So this is one of if.
Was there any particular kite that you found?
Uh,
Was there any particular kite that was
Well,
like the
in
best of
Egypt
all?
we do kites totally different from what they do. They do them with bamboo. The frame is a bamboo thing,
Right.
and then you have the threads, and then you use colorful paper like sheets to make it, and then a tail. And, some of them are designed as a star. Some of them are designed as like a mailbox. We call it the mailbox. And some of them are the frame itself. It looks like a box and still can fly, and all kind of kites. But the most one that I always like is the shape that is it's like a star. It's like a geometric like let me just
Five-pointed star?
like this, the bamboo star, and one in the middle, and then you connect to the ends with papers, and then go here, and then you have the balance, which is the two threads comes here and one comes in the middle, and that's what you fly from, and then a tail, it comes here to balance it so it won't be going all over the place. And the tail sometimes is a loop or like a Y, and that was the most common one that we all made.
Okay. Now, what about flying the kite? Why was that? Why were you particularly attached to that?
Uh,
What did
that
that do
was
for you?
was the most common thing that we did because we were open fields. We live near the beach and sand, and there is no traffic or power lines or anything. And this was everybody was doing kites at the time, and we used to have dog fights in the air, kites and stuff, and
Or
sometimes
did you wish that maybe you were up there on top on the kite flying
yeah,
around?
flying. Yes. In fact, there is some incidents with people they would they would fly the kite from the top roof of their house,
Yeah.
and then it's so big, and they would put them there. Well, I don't know if it was real, but I heard a couple of times that happened. The kid was so small, and he flew out.
Wind out there.
Huh? Winds,
speed.
yes, yeah.
Okay. All right, next question. Tell me in one sentence, what was your mother's chief personality characteristic? In other words, how did she normally behave with friends and family? One sentence.
One sentence. My mom was very generous, loving, and caring, and giving.
So she was always asking, would you like some more rice?
Yes, yeah, very generous,
Yeah.
very caring.
You want another piece of pie? Or
Yeah, are you cold?
Yeah,
You
okay.
want a blankie? Yeah, my mom
Always
was
a mother.
always a mother. Worries about everybody.
Okay, we'll ask you more about your parents. What was your mother's chief virtue? We might have answered that. What was your mother's chief virtue?
She was always there. Uh, did a lot of sacrifices for everybody. Denying herself and just to give.
Self-effacing.
Yes.
All right. Now describe your mother physically. Tall and so.
My mom is average height. I would say 5. Now she shrunk because she's old. I'm sorry, but my mom was around 5'4", 5'5",
Okay.
and she has a beautiful figure. She wasn't fat or skinny, very beautiful, and beautiful eyes, big eye. She's typical Egyptian, beautiful Egyptian woman. In fact, I look more like my mom than my dad.
Uh-huh.
And I have a picture I will show you. And in fact, I will for my mom and dad when they were young.
That's good. I like to see that. Okay, now, how would you describe your father physically and psychologically? Was he a man of very strong character, integrity? And give an example.
My dad was the most strong man I ever encountered in my life. He is very generous and he has a lot of integrity. In fact, I am very much indeed like my father. My dad was very short temper because he has asthma all his life and barely breathes. Sometimes when the asthma comes and he has to take adrenaline shot all the time just to be able, before they didn't have that inhaler thing. My dad was, I miss him, very, very much indeed. My dad he is the one taught me how to be a man, a loving man.
Now, do you have an example of something very specific that he did?
Yes,
that was,
yes. One time, I think I was in last year of a high school, and we have a fight with the gangs, bad boys somewhere, and the boys in the neighborhood, and I was always a leader. I always took the lead. I can't just be taking a. And my dad came, and he saw these thugs hanging out, and trying to. And I never thought that my dad would have that much balls. I'm sorry. Hey, you punks! You better get the hell out of the neighborhood. And that's why this is one of the things that I remember about my father very vividly. That from now on, I knew that I have a man to back me up, and that's why I decided to be a man. Stand for who those that they can, because I was number 3 in the family. I was the second boy. My brother, he was a twin, and his twin died when he was 11 days old. So I took the role of a big brother after my dad. So this is one of the things that I remember about my father very much indeed, that it empowered me and made me fearless.
Okay. Same question about your mother. Describe your mother. You've already described her physically, but was she also a woman of courage? What was the virtue that
My mom, yeah, she was, but not to the point that control the father, because back home it's always the head of the household is the father, is the man that taking care of. My dad goes to work, my dad protect, my dad provide, my dad, and the mom was the one that give the love and guidance in school and take care of everything there. So yes, she has a strong personality, but she always have to cave in to my dad running the business, the family business, or
Okay, that's good.
Now, can I add some?
Yes.
My dad and my mom fought a lot,
Uh-huh.
and it was more of nobody fault because we were 11 kids. Economically, we were barely making it. My dad was working so hard just to provide good bacon on the table
Yeah.
and a roof over our head. And that, with the asthma that he has, made him very short temper. My mom, on the other hand, she will not. Before, she will be quiet, when it's. But then she started arguing with my father, and that even fueled the fire more. And I will always remember when they fight. Well, I put it in my mind that when I have children, because I'm older and I have a lot of younger siblings,
Right.
and I will see what dad does to them, and I always took it upon myself that I will never do that to my children. And that was my theme in life, that I will never fight with and that's why divorce was so easy for me, because I will not sit there and argue and have my children go through what my little sisters and brothers, because I could leave the house. I am a boy and I'm old enough to just to walk and go to my friend's house or go to some, and but they weren't. They were sit there and they would have to take it, and that's why. Now, in the midst of that, also developed my personality, because my father would listen to me, not to my older brother or my younger brother, because they used to take they want to take over. They think that they protect the mom and they stand up for my dad. And I very much indeed explained to them that that's not gonna happen in my present. Mom and dad, this is some that we can take one side over the other, especially your father. You're not gonna be disrespected to your father in my present. I'll beat the crap out of you. That's my because it's not to agree with my dad, but my dad has his place and they have his respect, and there is no one can cross this boundaries and think that he has a liberty to take that stand against my father.
Good. Okay. Now, this one you're going to think about. What is your earliest memory?
My, my,
Anything. Anything.
my earliest memory,
How old were you, do you think?
I think I was 3 years old, and we just moved from the family house in old Alexandria by the seaport, the harbor,
Yeah.
the biggest harbor in Egypt, which is Alexandria Harbor. And it was a very authentic neighborhood, the old bosses and, yeah, longshoremen's and all that. And this is where I was born. And that was my grandma's house. And I was born inside the house with a midwife. And then we moved, I think I was 2 or a year old when we moved to that Alexandria City Beach, which is a seaside, very close, walking distance from the beach, the sand and all that beautiful. And I remember I used to go and play in the back of the house in the sand. And, that's the time I remember I used to have
So you remember that house?
Oh, I remember the house because we kept going after that. But I don't remember when I was born. I remember after, I become 3.
About 3 years old. What was the house like?
It's a very old house, and it was in the bottom floor.
Single story?
No, it was 7, 8 stories high.
7 or 8 stories?
Yes. But there was people living in it's like apartments.
Oh, apartments.
Apartments.
It was made out of
Stones.
stone.
Yes. It's like center blocks, but an old white stones that they made from like clay, like what you call it, bricks, like brick wall,
Clay
but
brick.
big big white cement, it's like a center block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also iron uh, rods, and
Okay.
and big windows and designs, and like old buildings that you see downtown, like the Mission Inn or so.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Yes, sir.
What adult, and you can say what adult other than your father if you want to make it to get a different reference. What adult was your hero when you were a young boy? Describe him.
My uncle from my dad. He's younger than my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and he took me when I was little because my older sister was a girl, of course, a sister. And then Yosri was a boy, and there was twins, and his brother died. And then my mom called me, instead of Hamdi, she called me Hamdiya, and she has braids. And my uncle took me to the barber shop and cut the braids off.
Oh,
And I went back with the braids, crying to my mom, and I said, "They took the girl from me and give me a boy."
okay. Um,
And he always tell everybody that you're gonna wait. Muhammad is gonna be a very famous, important leader.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now describe a time when you and your family went on a trip. For example, a vacation, and you were powerfully affected by some incident on the trip. When you went on vacation as a family, and
we,
you were affected powerfully by some incident.
well,
Might have been an accident, or you saw something you didn't like.
yeah, we went to one time to a wedding, and we went to the family house
Mm-hmm.
where the person was getting married, and it was in the center, back in, not in suburbs, but in
Alexandria.
yeah, in Alexandria. And my younger brother, got lost, and we thought
Oh.
somebody grabbed him. They used to kidnap children and sell them, and he was lost for few hours, and everybody panics, and we call the police, and we were looking for him, and that was a very some that it really affected me a great deal.
Okay. Um, so you were afraid too that
Yeah, that's why I will never see him again. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Describe. Oh no,
We are into, just a reminder, 28 minutes now.
that's all. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. So we said an hour, right?
Yeah, but the battery is not gonna last, because it looks like it's very.
How much more time do you think we have?
I think we have maybe 5 minutes of that.
Okay,
Or we can find a. Oh, we can sit. We can sit here.
Yeah, that's okay. Let us move. Did you drink your coffee?
I am drinking. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Did
like
you
it.
get some sugar? I guess.
No, I don't.
don't take
I
it?
drink it black. I mean, without sugar. In fact, I'm thinking about my friend. I think he's so much. He doesn't have much of an option. Okay. Now up.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Who is your favorite sibling and describe?
Man, I have many, but I would say Esam. Esam he's here actually in Riverside. Um, he's boy after me in the age.
Just younger than you.
He's
One
yeah.
year or-
No, he's let me see. He's born. You got me. Israel is 2 years younger, and Islam. He's around 3 to 4 years younger than I am.
Okay.
And he went to school with me, the primary school, and I was his big brother when we went to first, the elementary school. And he was always my sidekick everywhere I go. My friends, they take care of him because he's my little brother. And then when I left to Iraq, he was the first one to come and visit and work there in Iraq with me. And yeah, he was very witty. He is still funny, and he's a very, very close to me.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Describe an important event that happened in your house while you were young. So like a wedding, funeral, birth.
Many of these because I am number three, and we have my mom and my dad has 10 because my mom was married before my dad and has my older sister. So there is a lot of people a lot of siblings who were born after me.
It
Namely,
doesn't have to be a birth.
oh, okay, there is.
Like a wedding, maybe, or
Uh,
a funeral.
Yeah, there is my uncle, my great uncle funeral that I attended was in 1970, 78 or 77.
Anything? Now those are examples. Anything else that might have been important?
Huh?
Anything else that might have been important? Some kind of.
This was the first time that I went actually to a relative funeral. I've been in funeral before,
Okay.
but was the first relative
Okay.
funeral that I've been, I attended. His name was Uncle Abdul Ghani, which is Al Ghani. It means the rich. Allah, one of Allah names, and his name is Abdul Ghani. And he was a very old, distinct person in, from the old country, and he basically raised my mom because my mom dad died uh, when she was very young, so she didn't know her dad. Yes, my mom was one of three children. She has a sister, older sister, and then Khali, my uncle Gaber, he passed. He was older than my mom, and then my mom was the last child. So
Okay.
he raised them. My great uncle raised them.
Now, were you generally very happy growing up, or were you depressed?
Very happy,
Okay.
very very happy. Except in when I was when I was 16, I got the first case of depression. I couldn't sleep.
And you were depressed about.
It was just a transaction of being a man, growing up in a certain ways, and balancing things in my own now views, and just struggling like any other youth,
Anxiety.
anxiety and stuff. And then I always wanted to do change for the best for myself and others, and I wasn't able to, and I become very spiritual, and I had a man is like a godfather, not like what you would call them here. I met him in the mosque, and he didn't have any children, and he had me like his son. He used to do things and give me religious advice and guidance, and he was very wise, and he was very dear to me. Yes, and that's what he came when I was very depressed, and he's the only. He was a big factor of me getting out of it. That his visit, and he came and talked to me, and and, I started going to the mosque again, and then things.
Straight back.
Yes. His name was Mahmoud. Mahmoud Chalabi. Yes. Uh, May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him mercy. He passed.
Okay. Now, in your youth, did you have any overpowering religious experiences? Overpowering.
Uh, I was always very associated, and my path is the Muslim Brotherhood. I was very convinced. I am until now. This the only sincere group or party of a Muslim movement. Alrighty, Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay.
So even the mosque, when I used to go, that little prayer room that they have it in every neighborhood, was mostly Muslim Brotherhood, influence.
Your brother, Muslim brotherhood.
Yes,
Okay.
the Sunni, they call them the Sunnis. The Sunnis,
Uh-huh.
not the Shia, the Sunnis.
They are
That's-
Sunnis.
Yes, the Muslim Brotherhood is the Sunnis. Yeah, a Sunni. That's what they call them in Egypt. The Sunnis.
Okay.
Yes.
Next question. Was there any public figure, politician, athlete, movie star, that affected you and affected you in how you see yourself?
Omar ibn al-Khattab.
Who?
Omar ibn al-Khattab, the Sahabi. The philosophy of Omar ibn al-Khattab. He's one of the four companions of the Prophet.
Okay.
He was the second caliph after Abu Bakr. It was Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His successor was Abu Bakr Siddiq, which is the second companion, and Omar ibn al-Khattab. He's the one that he's very famous in being a justice person. That he did a lot of, his famous saying, "Why do you enslave people when their mother delivered them free?" And this is still until now. Omar ibn Khattab is the one that I have, radiallahu anhu, shaped my personality, and I always wanted to be doing justice like. He's my role model.
A reformer.
A reformer, yes.
Okay. When you were growing up, did you want to become rich and powerful? I don't know. Drive a Mercedes or have someone
No,
drive for you?
no. I wanted to be in public service. I wanted to give people what I can. Yes, always. I can do without, as long as there is other. I'm making a difference for others with the very little that I can give.
You get greater satisfaction.
Yes, this is what I do the best. In fact, Vern, when I don't have and I'm going through hardship, I perform the best. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Is there any time early in your life when you thought God turned away from you or possibly something you did or failed to do?
No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in there. We don't do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not do us injustice. We do ourselves injustice. Everything that good comes from Allah.
No, I didn't say he was going to be
Yeah.
unjust.
Yeah.
But you know, well, for example, if you deny the Holy Spirit in Christianity, Jesus says,
Our
when
Savior.
you come on the day of judgment, I won't know you. I
Oh,
won't know you. In other words, he turns away from you.
no, that's not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And that's also in the Old Testament.
Right,
You
that's
know,
that's
God will turn away from you if you do certain things.
Oh no. In
Or don't
my
ask for
belief,
forgiveness.
No.
Or believe in something other than what.
no. In our belief, well, in the Islamic beliefs that I'm totally, it doesn't matter how much you did, don't ever lose faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercy. You always can come back and ask for forgiveness and you will be
What
forgiven.
if you do?
Huh?
If you do, though.
If you do ask for forgiveness, yeah, well, there's a lot of people, they say, oh, well, I did so bad, there is no way for me. And that's very un-Islamic. That's
Always
not,
come back.
you always come back. It doesn't matter what. In fact, there is even some people suggest, they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like the sinners because they always ask and repent and ask for forgiveness. You see? Because we all not perfect.
All right.
So going back and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, it is not to intend to do so. I mean, to calm the hawla wala quwwata. You can go, oh, I'm going to commit all these sins and do everything, and then I'm going to ask for forgiveness, and I know Allah subhanahu
Right
wa
at the
ta'ala.
last minute.
Yeah, that's it. That's last
Doesn't work, though.
That doesn't work.
Okay. Was there any time you feared your father or had negative thoughts about him?
No. No.
He never chased you around the house with an axe or anything?
No.
I was just wondering.
My dad, in fact, if my dad did, he was mean. Well, he was swift with my older brother because my older brother is supposed to be the one that his successor. You know what I mean? He's taking care of the family business. So he was very adamant about teaching my brother how to be a man before me. He said, because your brother, he look up to you, and if you mess up, he will follow your footsteps. If you do good, he will follow your footsteps. So I was kind of, I was given,
Responsibility.
yes, I was leveraged. My dad was very mean to my brother, but he gave me the doubt that because I was very, I was a thinker. As you said, you asked me whether, and I was very precaution about what I do, and I always try to keep that good image about me, and I was always older than who I am. My action was always responsible for, to be.
Well, we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Thinking part. You said you're a thinker, but you don't think about everything.
Right.
There's certain things you do think about
After.
very intensely, like morality.
Right. Yes.
Okay, the next one here is about sexual encounters. We'll ask that next time. Okay, I'll just put parentheses.
Yeah, that's fine.
We get too many people here. Okay, did you like sports? And did you participate in any athletic activity when growing up?
Yes, sir.
What kind of activity?
I like soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and I like swimming, of course. Swimming was my number one. Racquetball, different from here. We play in the beach with the tennis balls and a wooden racket, and we play right in, like volleyball here in the, and also I like swimming. I like soccer. I like walking. All of these activities I used to do when I was young. But mostly number one, I think, is swimming. I used to do a lot of swimming.
Swimming.
Yes.
Now, as a young man, you're fully grown up. Did you ever witness a violent act, an accident, or murder, or an execution, or someone killed in war?
Yes. Many.
In war, which describe it
And the
specifically.
police, when I work as a police officer in Cairo, I seen many accidents. People got, you know. Um, I never shot anybody.
Okay.
I never killed anyone. But I have witnessed a lot of. I've seen a lot of gruesome accidents.
Okay. And any
And Iraq.
executions?
Uh,
You witnessed at an execution, say, capital punishment?
no, I have not. But I witnessed war. People get blown up in Basra during the Iraq-Iran war. And in fact, many times I was that close. I mean, that jets, they go there, bomb, right next to where I'm working actually. And I have many encounters that I could have been dead by now, but I'm still here. And that's why Iraq has the most impact on my life to make me the person I am today. When I went to Iraq, I was a little boy. I wasn't a little boy physically, but in a sense, I did not really know how to be a man and I was 24 at the time. When I went to Iraq, I am there in a very harsh environment, alone, and I have to be responsible for my action. Before I used to throw a fit. I was very impatient, I was very short-tempered, and I will get my way. And when I went to Iraq, if I acted like this, I would be dead or imprisoned or. And then so I have to count and I have to tame myself and I have to take responsibilities for my action. And I become who I am.
Okay, I asked you this before, but
Yes, sir.
I'll ask you once again. Have you ever had a dream in which you were floating in the ocean or sea with no land in sight? And if you have, was that in the daytime or at the night or in the nighttime?
Flow and what?
Floating in the ocean or sea, like Mediterranean, with no land in sight, just water all around you.
I think I did
You have a dream.
a dream.
Dream.
Yes. I don't remember when in my life I have that, but I have perhaps more than once have that.
Maybe if you think about that, it'll
I will think about that and try to get
put a
you
check by it.
narrow down. The,
Okay, and I asked you this one too. Did you ever have a dream of falling endlessly?
oh yes, many, and that's happened from the time
Now, when did they happen?
from 1980 from 1983 until the late 90s.
So how old were you in 1983?
Huh?
How old were you in 1893?
83,
1983?
83 I was 29 years old.
Let us tell you, those are always associated with sexual anxiety.
Oh really? Well, I thought
Well,
because I was
tension, anxiety, tension.
uh,
It might be anxiety. It might be.
but this is not has nothing to do with being working a rigger in Iraq. I was always working upside, and
Uh-huh.
erecting high power towers, electrical
Yeah,
towers.
yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was a rigger. A rigger, what a rigger is, that person that goes up there and builds the high rise and stuff.
Where
Huh?
that act you associate in your mind, you take that to stimulate this thing that's bothering you sexually.
Oh, okay. Well,
About that, huh?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, has any other religion other than Islam captured your attention?
Yes, it is Judaism, Christianity, because they are
Similar.
similar. It is the same message that came to the prophet, the the father of the prophets Abraham, peace be upon him.
Okay,
It's the same message. Submit yourself to Creator.
okay. Here's an important question. So, if you want to take time to answer this or just pass over it, what event within the last 10 to 15 years threatened your physical or spiritual existence and put you at the precipice that divides your life from your death, or your sanity from your insanity?
The encounter with the law enforcement, the police department, and being arrested and investigated by the FBI, beat up, tased, and thrown in jail, and not having the ability to stand up and even say my part. And that's happened from June 19, 2009 until recently. Never left me alone until now. And I have to stand up, and I've been fighting. Right now, they just. Now, I am the one chasing them and swinging at them, and they're running afraid. How? It was the first time for me, Vern, to have what took place from my point of view put in a state and a federal court in a court record. That trial that it took place, the last day was August 10th. This is the first time that I have my side of the story been said, and brought all those who were responsible that we commit crimes. I'm not talking about little things. Commit heinous crimes against children, against my children, and that's what brought me to that conclusion and promote me and encourage me to do that Islam1US.org.
As you talked about in your YouTube presentation.
Thank you. And it's a reflection of everything. I try to document it because I wasn't able to get anyone attention. I was thrown, arrested, thrown there, and everyone talked in my behalf and said, oh, he did that and he did that and he did that, and fabricated everything without the possibility of giving me a right of due processing and saying, oh, what happened? Really, what happened? And now, all the evidence, you see, everything is documented. All the court, I read everything, and I discover lately, and I'm not really in a state of wrath or anger against my own family. Everyone participated on that. My brothers, my children, my ex, everyone was a part of it. If they didn't say something, they were silent. They would not come and say, oh no, wait a minute, my dad or my brother or my uncle.
They were against you.
Everybody was bought, everybody was intimidated to whether stay away and being complacent and don't even care, or say something to bring me where I am at, to put me where I was. Everyone, and I have documentation, it's all in the court records, including my own doctors wrote a fraud report that I'm frauding the social services and I'm not sick and I'm doing that to take Medicare and food stamps and all of this. Unbelievable. So everything was done. I did not have. That's why I'm so. Right now, I am going 90 miles an hour to make a difference for those that I know that they can represent. They don't have a right to even stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not a drug addict. I'm not alcoholic. I don't want to be homeless. That's why I am doing what I'm doing. And that's why I'm so adamant about it. Yes. I'm sorry. that subject is very, very sensitive.
Well, that question is where we'll start. Where we'll start your story, okay?
Okay.
Where you will start your story.
Okay.
Okay?
It is very.
We want to be very concrete and vivid. Present the setting, a particular day, time. Maybe just even think if you're standing on a cliff and your toes are curled around the edge of that cliff and you are ready to dive or you're ready to step back.
Okay.
One or the other, you're going to either die or you're going to live. You're either going to solve this problem by killing yourself or you're going to step back and go back to reality and solve it that way. Okay?
The thing that it gave me joy and satisfaction when I go and confront the wrongdoers, not the persons, not the people, not the family, not the ex, the authority that they allow that and promote it to put you there. You see, I do strongly believe that we all are a recyclable items. To be here, this is where the funds keep generating and keep you in the status quo. That's what is going to continue to keep control. Everything the state and corporate America, people with money, are the players and the only players, and the rest they have no really choice but to be part of that cycle. And that's why I am so vigorous about it, and that's why I'm going head on and tell them bring it on, Pons. Why? Because I seen it. They took me by the hand and they show me how they do it. And for any, that's for me at least, my responsibility. I said, if I am complacent, I am guilty as charged as they are, because I seen and I did not bring it to the attention and try to make a difference. Thank you.
So that's where we'll start, and it will be you speaking in the first person, describing this event, going from maybe standing out someplace, wondering if this is going to disintegrate, fall off the cliff, or to being in the courtroom, confronting people, and then we'll flash to another event. And we'll go back to talking about your parents. And we'll do it straightforward.
We have a minute and a half.
Okay, straightforward statements, but mostly narration by you. And some of the narration, though, will be between you and me. The interviews will be part of the audio.
Okay. Alrighty. Now, what you want from me? What is asking for me for the next session? Do I have to go and prepare some, or?
No. You're gonna give a summary of your life.
Okay.
And the first part is your parents. The second part is your youth. The third part is your young manhood to early middle age, and the fourth part is your middle age up to
just to list the events.
Events, yeah.
On and about that happened. Okay.
Skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So we'll just use that, and then we'll go deep
in each subject.
Yeah, we'll just like here's one event. It's on the surface, and we're going to drill down in here.
Okay.
To really find a big big well
of information.
sucked up, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, can we end this now?
We're in.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Appreciate it.